right. So in our community, or in the community per se, there's been this saying, I'm from the streets, I'm from the streets, I'm from the streets. As if though that's like something to be proud of, like that's some authentication of some sort. And if you are not from the streets, somehow something is wrong with that. When did this become validation in our community? Or who are we allowing to have this conversation to validate that experience in our community? Because I can tell you this, I'm from the streets as well, but that not from the streets by choice. You know, I'm from the streets because my parents struggled. I'm from the streets because of white supremacy racism. I'm from the streets because my parents and my grandparents were not wise enough to understand that we are not just living life, but we are in fact, I don't want to say this in this way, but we are in a struggle. And all of our moves, all of our actions must be a strategic way to overcome the adversities inside this struggle. That's wisdom, you see. Whether or not you take it that we live in a racist system, whether or not you take it that we live in a capitalist system, or whether or not you take it that we live in a spiritually immature system, either way you take it, we live in a system where we must strategize, we must think, and we must move in a fashion that takes us to a reality of life that is beyond the limitations of being from the street. When you say you're from the street, in your youth, you lived the life that people who did not make it out of the struggle could provide for you. And 9 times out of 10, it was chaotic, because what they were trying to do was ultimately they were trying to get their economic grind on. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to make money. And unless you understand the struggle that you're in, unless you understand you have to make moves to counteract the moves that were already made before you were born, it's going to be hard. And the only financial options available for you at that point in time are those options that will ultimately either lead to a life of chaos, of you causing chaos in other people's lives, or of chaos coming into your life. That's it. There is nothing honorable about being from the streets and staying in it. Nothing whatsoever. You cannot find me one child in this day and era who is in the streets right now who wants to stay there. That's bull on so many different levels. So we have these fools out here, such as Nature Boy. One brother is coming up, Young Pharaoh. He's deciding to, his philosophy is taking him to a point where he's siding with the ideology that actually enslaved our people. But he's moving from it, but still he still refers to being from the streets. And Nature Boy wants to influence our brothers and sisters to live a life that will keep them in the streets. That's why this brother goes around and does all of these low vibrational activities. There is nothing honorable about, our ancestors were not from the streets. Our ancestors weren't from the ghettos of America. Our ancestors weren't from the ghettos of Africa. Our ancestors built civilization. Our ancestors created systems in which civilization could thrive. This that we are living in right now is a creation of a lower level spiritual mindset, of egoistic, greedy, fear-based racial mindset. A mindset that exploits the natural resources of our environment, that exploits humans, that destroys the human spirit in order to make profit. This system is flawed. But there is no point and no reason in promoting maintaining yourself in the lower levels of this existence. Refuse to stay in the streets. Rise above and create a beautiful legacy for yourself, for your family, for your children. Peace.